So how many people should really be in your Salesforce project meeting? Hi, I'm Erica with CloudTrails, and I like to project manage all of our projects that we have with our clients. And a lot of times we don't need everybody on that call. There's about 2 or 3 of our team members on the call, and then we have about 8 to 12 of their people on the call, with only 3 or 4 of them talking. So it's very imperative for you to learn how many people should be in this call and what do you need to do to make sure that the call stays productive. When kicking off a high-stakes Salesforce project, a leader's natural instinct is to invite everyone remotely connected to the CRM into the design meetings to build buy-in and avoid missing critical requirements. That is not productive. The inclusive approach is a near guarantee of a project gridlock because you're trying to get everybody's opinion in the meeting and captured on the documentation, and it's just not that easy to do, nor is it the great way to do this. Most of the meetings are derailed by minor edge cases, decision-making stalls, and 80% of the room sits on mute while browsing YouTube or checking their email. True Salesforce alignment requires a lean, intentional group, ideally capped around 6 to 8 people. Each of those people actually having an opinion and actually are going to be around throughout the entirety of the project, not just here at the beginning or not just coming in at the end, not wanting to test. You want to make sure you have committed people who are going to be in the room from start to finish and who understand the business requirements as well as the processes that are needed in order to build a successful CRM for you. Building a successful CRM requires optimizing for clear execution and practical system design, not hiding behind the false safety of broad organizational consensus. Here are a few takeaways that you can take with you when you're trying to decide who needs to be in the room. 1. Meetings are not training sessions. Demos are not training sessions. Attendance is not mandatory, nor is it going to be productive if you make people go to these meetings and they have nothing to add to these meetings. Just because you had 15 people on a Zoom call doesn't mean that they're really engaged, learning, or even bought into the new system. Stop confusing a packed calendar invite with actual productivity in a meeting. If they're not talking, chances are they do not have anything to add to the project and should not be there. Why keep wasting your time as well as theirs? Number 2, the executives on your org chart are usually the worst people to design the workflows or to even have in the meetings. High-level leaders understand the theoretical outcomes, but they are so far removed from the day-to-day that they do not understand nor remember, in case they were in the day-to-day in the previous role, what needs to happen for these users to adapt to Salesforce. Yes, you want their buy-in before the project takes place and throughout key points in the project, but not in the day-to-day and not in every meeting. You need the people who have the boots on the ground in the meeting, the people who actually deal with the daily inefficiencies so they can tell you where the system hurts, where they're going to have their pitfalls, and what things actually need to happen because these are the bottlenecks that they want to solve for so that their process can be streamlined for their users to use. Build it for the reality of the users who are actually going to be using it, not the high-level VPs and CEO and the C-suite who are really just going to be in your CRM system just to look at the reports and maybe the dashboards. Number 3, FOMO. FOMO is a silent budget killer. For those of you who don't know, FOMO is fear of missing out. A silent budget killer. Everyone has an opinion of what the org should do, but nobody wants to actually be involved in the requirements gathering discussions, the demos, and the testing process. People who want to come in and say, here's my problem, drop it off in the meeting, and then they want to leave. Make sure when people are providing you with their painkillers, their bottlenecks, their requirements of here are the things I want you to fix in the CRM, take all those things and return to the KPIs and requirements that you drafted at the start of the Salesforce project. Most of the time, these can be found in your project charter. Focus on these items. Anything that needs to be added, figure out if they are in alignment with those things that you're looking to do in the CRM system at the onset for this project. It may not relate to this project. It may be something that is required for a future iteration of the CRM. So put it in the parking lot. Put it in the parking lot for the next project or the next iteration. Don't have people in the room who are only concerned about their single edge case exception, and they're not concerned about the 95% repeatable process that impacts everybody else in the organization. When you try to please everyone, you build a compromise that nobody wants to use, and your adoption rate for using the CRM system that you work so hard to build will be completely null, or just very low. Pick one clear owner per department, making the hard choices, making sure that they understand the day-to-day and they can regulate everyone else on their team on a call if need be. They will be the ones that will be bringing in the information from their department to say, from this department, here's what we need. Here are the pain points, here are the bottlenecks from this department. So you have one spokesperson per department, which makes the amount of people in the room a lot smaller. If it's not in the project charter or on the requirements list, it's tabled for the next time. You'll start to see things fall off people's priority list when they realize if they want this to be in the project charter, they have to come to the meetings and participate and do the testing and do the heavy lifting to make sure that it gets into the project charter and it gets worked on. If not, you can always advise them that it will be added to the parking lot for a future iteration of the CRM system. You will start to see a lot of things fall off that priority list, and a lot of people who raise their hand to be a part of these meetings will find other things to do with their time.